Early night last night?
Pretty late. Been swatting up for family court.
First timer's nerves.
Yeah, so be gentle with me.
Oh, damn it! This bike should be outside.
I've already replaced the wheels twice.
I don't care. Get it shifted, all right?
I was expecting Mary.
Last minute swap yesterday. Had to call a vet out, kept me waiting.
Something serious?
No, one of the cows had mastitis.
Morning all. Kenneth Johnson, clerk of the court staff today.
We've got Thomas chairing today.
First case against Paddy Morgan, Blind Wen Farm, neglect against cattle. Any problems? Well, I'll chair if you like.
No, it's all right.
Second case, petty theft. Oh, thought we hadn't seen much room for a while.
So you do understand why I'm going to push for a supervision order. It's just that once an emergency protection order is in place, it's usually the best bet, especially with your history.
Cheers.
Don't get too defensive, Miss Collins.
Have I got a chance?
There's always a chance.
I can't lose him.
In that case, a word of advice? The makeup.
Mr. Davis?
New student.
Oh, Kenneth Johnson, new clerk.
Hello, Kenneth Johnson, new clerk. Got any mints? Hugh always has mints, all right? Ralph, some young law student due in today, if you could point him in my direction. Morning, Mr. Morgan. Good to see you again.
All right. You are Parry Morgan of Blind Wen Farm, date of birth 12th of the 1st, 1950.
Yes.
You have been charged with causing unnecessary suffering to certain animals, namely 5 Welsh blacks, by unreasonably omitting to provide the said animals with the necessary and proper care and attention. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Sit down, Mr. Morgan. You sure? Would you care to address the bench?
Your Worships, on the 19th of February of this year, an anonymous phone call alerted the RSPCA to the rather desperate state of affairs at Blind Wen.
Sorry, I've just realised I might know this gentleman.
As you have declared an interest, Mr. Thomas, you'll be obliged to stand down from the bench. Sir, would you like to go into the chair?
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you happy to proceed with just 2 magistrates?
Yes. I think I will retire.
You resumed seeing Miss Collins in your capacity as social worker around a year ago when she was pregnant again.
Yes.
Not by the same man.
No. This one wasn't abusive, to my knowledge.
No. This one didn't hit her, he just dumped her. How was she coping? On her own?
Bit strapped for cash, but excited, you know? I think she saw it as a fresh start, up till the birth. Then...
might I clarify for your worships that my witness is referring to the birth of baby Jonathan Collins, the child subject of this application, currently 6 months old and in temporary care.
Thank you.
And after the birth.
She changed. Just withdrew.
Collapse of livestock prices, heavy debts, sick animals, outstanding vets bills, low morale, the suicide of a close farming friend, Need I say any more? He's 51 and has farmed all his adult life. He lives at Blindwen Farm with his wife, Airy. On little more than £80 a week, they can afford no help. I urge your worships to show compassion today when sentencing. Lack of money is the root of all evil.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. We will retire to consider this matter.
Court rise.
I understand that Miss Collins' older daughter was placed in care as a result of domestic abuse.
Yes, Miss Collins' then partner was a violent man.
There is another reason you cite here in your report: willful neglect. What form did this willful neglect take?
Keely was sometimes left alone. I don't know if Miss Collins had much choice.
For how long? Hours? Days?
There were some nights.
Left through the night to fend for herself at the tender age of 6. I understand the child is with foster parents. How's she doing?
Really well.
No further questions.
I'd like to point out to the bench that Miss Collins has access to her daughter Keely on a weekly basis and has tried hard to maintain a relationship with her.
Thank you.
2 of his previous prize winners were described as skeletal.
It's not as uncommon as that these days.
Well, it would be if I had my way.
Farmers are having a hard time of it.
I'm not saying. But we can't let sentiment get in the way.
In the weeks, months leading up to that night, had you sought any help?
Yeah, the doctor gave me some antidepressants, but I don't think they worked.
Was there anyone for you to talk to?
Yeah, Sharon would pop round for a bit. And the health visitor. But she was more watching the baby, like.
Describe how you felt during this time. The strain of living day in, day out, alone, with baby Johnny. Little sleep, no money.
Mrs. Graham, perhaps you could let your client speak for herself.
Yes, Mum. How bad could it get?
Well...
Go on.
When he cried, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't wash. And he cried all the time. And he wouldn't feed. But I couldn't tell the health visitor that, could I? She kept weighing him. But I did try. But he wouldn't feed. And he wouldn't cuddle.
Despite your best efforts. Must have been exhausting.
The last time I took him out, I fell asleep on a park bench.
Let me take you back now to the day before baby Johnny was placed in temporary care. Take me through that day.
What do you mean?
How you felt. Remember what you told me?
Mrs. Graham.
Just explain what happened that day.
We was crying. I put him down for a nap. He kept on crying. So I took some sleeping tablets just so I could have a few hours kip.
A short break.
And then the police woke me up and took him away.
How have you been since he's gone?
Well, it was bad at first. But I'm starting to feel a bit better. I just needed a break, that's all. I miss him. I can put up with it all again now. I miss him.
And you feel that with better organised help and support, you could manage? Thank you, Miss Collins.
Miss Collins, do you often wash your pills down with vodka? According to the police report, you were nursing a nearly empty bottle on that night. There's also loud music playing, had been playing, in fact, for the best part of 7 hours. Hardly conducive to your baby's attempts to sleep.
I just thought that if I couldn't hear him crying...
You live alone without any help. That's why you say you're depressed.
I am. It's postnatal.
So when your concerned neighbors saw you leaving the house all dressed up, returning in the early hours, a few weeks back, who was with the baby?
No.
Could you speak up?
No one.
This baby you claim to love so much.
I do.
Left at 6 months, crying, no doubt terrified.
I had to get out.
Wet, hungry. Left for hours.
I just had to get out. He was crying, on and on.
Babies cry. It's their only mode of communication. All this baby had was its mother, a mother who thought nothing of closing the door on her child and going out on the ras.
No!
There's no man to blame this time, Miss Collins.
I had to get out, or...
Or what, Miss Collins, or what?
Or I don't know what I might have done, all right?
You don't know what you might have done.
Very up?
Yeah.
Coffee?
Oh, life's there.
Past history. That's not what today's about, is it?
Can't afford to ignore it. The same charge as a warning bar.
Better to rescue a 6-month-old baby than a 6-year-old child. Less damage done.
You showed emotion, and we need them to buy the depression card. It's not so bad.
He's horrible, man. If he's got kids, I bet they're like little robots all over the place. Do you want?
Given up.
You got kids?
2 boys. Little horrors.
Old.
7 and 9.
What are their names?
Caspar and Idris.
I think I'm cruel.
4 weeks ago, the authorities took out an emergency protection order in respect of Jonathan Collins and placed him into foster care. Today, we decide whether the baby is to remain in care or return home to his mother, where his welfare will be meticulously supervised by social services. So, what are we here to decide? Whether my client is a changed woman in the grips of a beatable mental illness, or whether she's faking it and is, in fact, a neglectful mother. Her illness is as real as her past. She doesn't need to be punished for either. She just needs help. The help a supervision order would provide.
Rise.
I hate it when they decide to make an example of innocence.
You did your best.
Tess.
Des, when would be a good time?
Not now, Warren.
Hi,
Hello?
I'm Siobhan
Right.
from Cardiff Uni.
Oh, sorry. I was expecting a... God, you don't look old enough. Des. Miss Cates? This is Siobhan, a law student. I wonder if you give her the benefit of your bountiful expertise after I've shown around the place.
All I want to...
Warren Butt, you'll have my undivided and, shall we say, 15 minutes, canteen?
10.
20.
Disqualified from keeping animals for 3 months.
We thought we'd try that new brasserie.
No, I won't. Not today.
So, how do we know this depression isn't some great big fabrication?
She's on antidepressants.
Who isn't?
She doesn't get up. She goes without food. She can't sleep.
There is such a fine line between the apathy incurred by postnatal depression and willful neglect that I urge you to err on the side of caution.
You've only got to look at her.
She might just be feeling very sorry for herself, lonely.
Can happen. And then they get baby back and it's happening all over again.
Don't just write her off.
I'm not. But a few tears in the dock doesn't change the facts.
The way I see it, we're like the referees of the courts.
Is that strong enough?
Let's have a couple of coffees, could you?
Yeah, sure.
One black without. And, well, you know how I like it. Nice to see you got an apprentice, Hugh.
So, where did you train?
Lists. Rule number 2, be prepared.
Yeah, you've got to defend them, even if what they've done makes your skin crawl. You'd like to bang them up for an eternity. Thanks, Kenneth.
I've got some mince now as well. Shall I keep them on me, or...?
Yes, I think that would be best.
Siobhan, just thought I'd run you through my next case.
Okay, it's just that was getting interesting.
Well, look, I normally pop to the vaults when I finish. Do you know it?
Yeah, what time?
After 5?
Great.
Kenneth, now would be a good time for a mint.
So, Des be looking after you, then?
Oh, yeah, he's really nice. Really cares. Bit of a catch.
I think maybe I should put you in the picture. Our Des is a bit of a lad, so just take care, okay? He's been divorced twice, and I think his eldest is about 4 years younger than you.
Okay, let's say she is depressed. Who's to say it won't come back with the baby's return? If she's stronger without the baby, why give him back to her?
She needed a break. She's living in the hope of getting him back. This baby is her lifeline. Place him in care and she'll never recover.
How do we know she'll suddenly be able to cope?
She'll be meticulously supervised.
Not 24 hours a day. It takes 1 second to kill a baby. One blow, one moment at the end of a tether. You can't be too careful when dealing with a baby's life.
And you can't be too careful separating a mother and child either.
Jules, family court is where the heartbreak is. No decision is pleasant, but this... Well, I wouldn't like to be the one to put this baby at risk.
I'm with you. She's weak. She let a man abuse her daughter, and she evidently can't cope now. She needs to sort her own life out. You don't know she wouldn't be better off...
I do. I gave up my baby for adoption 10 years ago. And I still think about it every day. All right?
We don't get to right our personal wrongs in here. This isn't therapy.
What do you have with curries? Don't really eat spicy food. What about fish and chips? Sandwiches? But you like Ally McBeal as it is, girl. It's not really dieting, it's food combining. No, it's good for you. Do you go to the gym? Oh, I should go. Got to lose £30 first, though. Can't walk in there with a bum this size. Mito! I'm thinking of joining the gym.
Is it?
This one's a member already.
Is it?
You're not seeing her there?
No.
No, I just sort of, slip in and out, you know. That's me.
All right. See ya.
Ta-ra, Hank.
Just give me one. Gasping.
Where's Siobhan?
Gone. Oh, and she said to tell you that she can't make it tonight. She's washing her hair. See you later.
See ya.
Des, look, I've been waiting...
Just a sec, Wall. All right.
So did you believe what you said in there about me?
Yes.
Warren Lucas, with the charge of theft of 5 library books on the 1st of the 5th of this year. How do you plead?
Guilty. Sit down, Mr. Lucas. Miss Gates.
Your Worships, on the day in question, Mr. Lucas was apprehended by a member of the library staff who saw him attempt to leave the library with several books hidden underneath his coat.
And so, after serious deliberation, this court is obliged to agree with the guardian ad litem's recommendations and grant a care order in respect of the child, Jonathan Collins. Miss Collins, you ought to be made aware of your rights to apply for contact with your son, which can then be assessed at a later date.
Call rise.
I'll speak to local authorities about contact. I do think you should pursue it right away. It's just that if you don't, steps could be taken by the new foster parents to apply for a permanent adoption order. The theory being that 6-month-old babies can rebond with new parents, and that access might only prove detrimental.
So what do we do now then?
You need to go back to your solicitor. Make an appointment. Soon as.
Okay.
Fine. Sorry it didn't work out as you hoped.
I would like to say in mitigation that Mr. Warren Lucas is not only an educated man,
Sorry.
he's also...
Des. You haven't bothered to listen to me all day, so I'll do this myself. I've been a member of the local library for over 4 years. On the day in question, I wished to renew my library card and was refused on the grounds that I was, at that time, of no fixed abode. I explained that I would have new digs in a day or so, and that I desperately needed the books to see me through a sober night under the stars. But, alas, the short-sighted staff couldn't see beyond their rule book and their bias. I am an alcoholic. Currently fighting my demons as I've been dry for over a month. I am a literary man. I used to be an English lecturer. I took 5 books for diversion of the soul. Sometimes I need Milan Kundera, at others Kurt Vonnegut, sometimes even Alistair MacLean. It was a toss-up between an unofficial borrowing and a night with no words to shut out the sirens and stabbings of this town's streets. That elegant building is termed a lending library, and, your worships, I always meant to give them back. What crime did I commit exactly? And how can I hope to find dignity as a citizen when citizens' rights are denied me?
Oh, for God's sake. Let's go easy on him. It's only a few books.
You okay, Win?
Yes, why?
Just thought maybe that business this morning.
I do know it's forgotten. Right, agreed. Conditional discharge. Good.
My farmer gets done, my ingenue deserts me. Then I'm shown the red card by an alcoholic in my own court. Cheer me up, Nate. You got any good goss?
Only our Cheryl's little crush.
Oh, this I could run with. On who?
Hi, Mike.
Monosyllabic Mike. Do me up. Right.
See ya.
Feeling all right?
Fine. I just want to apologise for today. I got it wrong. And I don't want you to think I can't do my job. It's...
Objectivity can be learned. I used to be so down on the parents when I started. Until I realised that most of them were little more than kids themselves. There are agencies.
No. She's got her own life.
Oi, haven't you got home to go to? Sorry, bud. It's okay. I got myself fixed up with a B&B. Bit bleak and itchy.
It's a roof of sorts.
Trouble is, no books.
I got off with a conditional.
I know. Listen, I got a box of old books at home from my uncle's. I've been meaning to take them to the charity shop, and you're welcome to have a look. I'll bring them in.
Well, I could come back with you now if you like.
Oh, the thing is, I think we got visitors coming over. I'll bring them in tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Tomorrow's fine. I can wait another night, innit? Tomorrow then.
Cheryl, fancy a quick drink? Yeah, okay.
Hi. Just summoned up a quick thirst. Right.
Thought you were on the wagon?
Thought you were teetotal.